Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna be looking at something very exciting. We're gonna be looking at primes, everything we know so far, and everything you'll need to know. So first off, the release date and how to get them. So it's subject to change, but as of right now, the planned release date is this Thursday. So that's September 25th. And to get them, you'll with the update, we'll see the campaign, and right after the Combiner Wars, you'll see the Primes campaign, and you need to be HQ level 8 to play it. And if, as you can see by the stars here, that means that they give you the squad you need to use. So it's nice and simple, whether you're brand new HQ level 8 or you're the best player in the world. Doesn't matter, we're using the same squad on the same level. So no need to worry about that, which is nice. And it basically just goes over what is a prime, how to use it, like a mini tutorial, which is kind of exactly what I'm going to be going over. So I'm not going to go over the campaign myself. If you do want to go take a look at the campaign, I know Sunstriga Waza on his most recent live stream, he showcased the entire campaign. So if you do want to go check it out, I'd go check out his channel. But once we complete it, you're going to get two important things. The first is 300 Megatronus Spark, and the second is this beautiful building right here. So the first thing you'll see is on the left hand side of my screen, you can see the maximum level is 5. So this works just like your research lab. As you upgrade it, it'll increase the maximum level of your prime. So for level 1, like I said, you get it from the campaign, and you need to be HQ level 8 for that, and it'll take 12 hours to build, and the maximum level will be 30. Then we don't know the corresponding HQ levels for the levels 2 to 4, but we do know the upgrade times. So it's been a while, but I'll try my best to remember how the HQ levels with their upgrade times. So level 2, it takes 24 hours to upgrade, which I believe is HQ 10, and it'll increase the max level to 40. Level 3 takes 3 days, which I believe is HQ 12. And that'll upgrade the maximum level to 50. Level 4 takes 7 days, which I believe is HQ 15, and that increases the max level to 60. And then level 5 takes 14 days, and it takes Xenergon, so I believe that's HQ 17, and that'll increase the maximum level to 70, just like your bots. So just to recap, level 1, the max is 30, level 2 is 40, level 3 is 50, level 4 is 60, and then level 5 is 70. Alright, so now we'll head into the lab. So this is my playtest account, already haven't leveled a bit. So when you open the lab for the first time on your live account, you'll see Megatronus. It'll prompt you to spend 300 Megatronus Spark to unlock him. So the campaign gives you the 300 Megatronus Spark, and then when you claim that, you'll get a crystal. You'll go open your crystal, and when you come back to the lab, you'll see your very own rank 1, level 1 Megatronus Prime. So there's quite a few things on the screen right now. I promise it's not that complicated, but it is a little overwhelming all at once. So just bear with me, I'll go through everything one at a time. So first things first, the level. You'll see mine is level 37. So you level them up just like you'd level up any other bot. So right now, if you go into a battle, you deploy all 8 bots. It'll split the XP from the battle 8 ways among your bots. So now you have your 8 bots, and then if you drop your prime, that'll be 9. So it'll split the XP 9 ways. So like I said, in events, if you want to use a full squad and drop him, you'll get XP that way. And then if you want to power level him, you can do the same way as you would as with a bot. XP calculation anyways. It's a little more complicated. We'll go over that in a second after we're done with the lab. But yeah, so you upgrade him just like you would with any other bot. And then next you've got the ranks. So you can see mine, if you don't know Roman numerals, is a level 7. And you can see in the bottom left, you'll see a red spark looking thing and then a blue one. So the red one, that's a Megatronus specific spark. That is a just what it sounds like. It's a prime Megatronus prime spark, sorry, which you can only use to upgrade him and nobody else. And then the left blue one, we don't have any other primes to spend it on yet. But when we do get multiple primes, you can use the blue universal prime spark on anybody you'd like. You'll get both of these resources through events and bundles, through the web store or the in-game store, however you purchase your bundles. And we'll talk about that a little later in terms of pricing event-wise. But yeah, so you have your ranks, and you upgrade them with Spark. Now if we move to the right side, you'll see a passive ability and a special ability. So the passive ability you upgrade through the ranks. So my prime is level 7, which means my passive ability is level 7. So if we take a look, I'll skip part of it for now, I'll explain in a second. When entering the battlefield, nearby foes are infused with Dark Energon, reducing their DPS by a percentage for 5 seconds. And then, so mine is rank level 7, and every 5 levels, you unlock a new part of the ability. So at rank level 5, you unlock the 80% absorption shield and the taunt for 7 seconds. Or sorry, it's 5 seconds when you unlock it, then level 6 upgrades the time. So you can see mine's level 7, and the shield lasts for 7 seconds. So that is very important. Again, I'll come back to that when we show how to use them. But just remember, every 5 levels is very important. The max rank is 10, and we don't know what the further evolution of the ability is. We don't even know in playtest, but someone did confirm that at level 10 there is another evolution. So at level 5 we get the shield. When you upgrade from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it increases the time of the shield, and then at level 10 it'll go to 10 seconds and we'll unlock something new with the ability. So we'll learn that later. And then the special ability, actually let me just remove it real quick. So we look at the special ability with this is how you're going to get them with no artifact on release. So it's prime landing, enter the battlefield from above at light speed, dealing 285 damage in a small area upon impact. And then when we add the artifact, which will come later, I think at the end of the month. I think that's not confirmed yet. You can see it adds a little bit. So it does the same thing, dropping in, dealing damage. It's notably more damage now. And then now, he proceeds to shoot the nearest target for 11 seconds, dealing 285 damage on impact and 1.8 fire damage over 8 seconds. So, obviously the numbers aren't that high yet, it's a pretty low level. So don't grasp onto the numbers so much, just kind of look at what it does. Obviously once you upgrade it, it'll get better. And as you can see by the yellow line here connecting them, the artifact and the special ability level directly correspond with each other. So as you upgrade the Requiem Blaster, you'll upgrade special ability. And then also, you can see in close to the center of your screen, extra ability effect added every 5 levels. So just like the ranks, every 5 levels you get a new effect. We don't know the max level yet. We haven't got much of it in playtest, but if I had to guess, I'd say the max is level 10 as well, and I would assume that at level 5 there's a new effect, and then level 10 there will be another one. And you can see on the left side, just upgrading it increases the damage boost. So that covers the Prime Lab, everything here, what it means. So let's look at how to use them now. Alright, so after building your lab, When you open your shuttle, you'll see a brand new 9th slot, but it's reserved for Prime specifically. So when you click on it, you'll see this menu. It is a scroll, so which again, we're getting more primes later. So as we get more primes, this will fill up. But for now, we've just got Megatronus Prime. So you can select him, and then when you get your squad in there, this is how it looks. You can see the rest of your squad is a little bit smaller now, just to show the size comparison. So we'll start with a base trial just to show how to deploy him, and then bear with me, we'll get into how to level him and what that looks like, and power leveling, what's best way to level him. So we'll get into that in a second. So first, you can see, if you look at his abilities, like I was talking about in the lab, this directly corresponds with your rank and artifact levels. So Dark Flame level 7, that's because our rank is level 7, and then Requiem Blaster level 1, just that's level 1, just like our artifact, the Requiem Blaster. So as you upgrade your artifact, that will go up, and then, like I said, keep upgrading your rank to improve your passive ability. So if we look at the bottom, you'll see 0 out of 21 energy. So to deploy him, you can't deploy him right away in the launch pad. First, you need to destroy a bunch of buildings. He doesn't cost points to drop. You just need to get 21 points. So if we try and destroy some buildings, well, that's a lot of damage. You'll see as we're destroying buildings, we get points, and then we destroy all these. You'll see more points come in. Try and speed this up. Not gonna try and go through the whole base. See, it's going up, and now we have 21 points. And you can see you can drop them around any one of your bots, but not on the launch pad. So you need to pick someone on your squad. So let's just get him up here. And you can see he can pop outposts, and then you can see he has a shield up. I'll go for 7 seconds. And then he is a low level right now. He's only, I think, 37. So you can see he survives pretty well for a few seconds while he has a shield, and then he'll just die. Actually, notably, technically, he doesn't die because they're primes. They just kind of go back to the shuttle or something. Alright, so the last thing I wanted to show before we jump to how to level him and the best ways to level him, I just want to show my favorite ways to use him so far. So we've seen some pictures or screenshots of his base stats at a pretty low level. Nobody has him leveled very high. So there will be no pictures out, or screenshots out there that properly show how strong they'll be. So I'm a little higher on this than most, just because a lot of people are looking at the low stats and they're, oh, he's gonna be garbage, he's gonna die super fast. Which at a low level, yes, every bot on a low level dies super fast. We know that the bots don't grow exponentially. That's not the right word, but like, it's not linear. We know that the higher you go, there are big jumps. So I'm not freaked out by the low stats of a low level at all. And then if you look, but even at a low level, if you look at mine's level 37. If you look at my level 37 stats versus another level 37 bot, Megatronus is stronger, which makes me hopeful that at level 70 Megatronus would have similar or better stats than a max bot. However, even with that in mind though, primes, the word that the developers kept using is that they're here for support. They're not going to come in and wipe out half the base. They're not going to come in and save the battle if you're like in a bad spot. They're there to support your squad. So that is exactly how I've been using him. I kind of use him like a mini combiner. Um, so when I use combiners, it's usually when I'm in a kill box or someplace stressful with like a bunch of outposts popping or something. And then I use the combiner just to relieve some pressure. Just give my bots a little room to breathe, give me some time to think and react, kind of thing. So that's so. Grant you do need his level 5 rank. You need the shield, or else he's just gonna get instantly shredded. Which I'll get into later, how that's both good and bad. But so you see, we took out a good chunk of the base. We're about to get enough points to drop them. Some people were worried about there won't be enough points on a front loader base, which yes, there are less, but you can see there's enough. So we're popping on the outposts. We're gonna get him down, and just slow motion. Look at his health. He's gonna be fine for like 7 seconds. He's slowly losing health, but nothing crazy. And this gives me time just to start getting like uh, Trailbreaker down, and then if I want to use Ratchet, get some healing. This kind of helps me get into a better spot. And then now, again, it's not crazy. He's not gonna come in and save you, but it just gives me a little time to think. And then let's say, okay, I want to use my combiner here, yada yada. I'm not gonna go through all this, but it just gives you like a few seconds to breathe, and it is noticeable when you drop him. He does die super fast because, like I said, he has pretty low stats at the moment. As you level him, that will get better. As you level up his Requiem Blaster, that will give him a better impact when he drops on the field. So just yeah, that's just my favorite way to use him. Just gives you an extra few seconds to breathe, and again, he doesn't cost any points to drop. You just need to get the points to be able to drop him. So you're losing nothing. You're not like taking away from anything. It's something new that we didn't have before. So yeah, I do like it. I like that he gives you a few extra seconds to breathe. You can use it to pop outposts if it's like a slow walk kind of base. You can just like pop an outpost that you can save Rook or Blaster or whoever you use for outpost for later. Yeah. So now let's look into how to level him efficiently. So I'm going to talk about a few things. One of them is Captain Obvious, nothing crazy, and then another part is something cool. So something I haven't mentioned yet, which is super cool and unique to them. They have no cooldown, which means you can run them and use them over and over and over, as much as you like, as much as your fuel cells will allow you to. So the best way is just if, like in a mayhem event, if you just go into the mayhem 15 fuel cell zones, and then you grab somebody like someone who can solo zone 15, so like Sunstreaker, Taz Kid, Rust Dust, Leo, I think still can. Just anyone who can solo zone 15, and then just clear out the base, and then just remember to deploy Megatronus. Sometimes I forget to do that. So that's kind of Captain Obvious. Just play Mayhem as much as you can with him. Just power level him. And then here is the bad news. So I showed that you need to deploy him near another bot. You can't lead with him. So that means you can't solo him when power leveling. You need to run a duo. So one bot and then throw in Megatronus. So that's 2. So it's not the end of the world. They are, like I said, there's no cooldown, so they're kind of easy to level. Like I don't, to each their own, but I don't think you need to really spend money on them to like duo level them. You can if you want, like I said, to each their own. Just I don't think you need to. I think if you just work at it with mayhem events, they'll make some good progress. And then here's the cool part that I'm going to talk about that maybe you didn't think of right away. elimination mode. They can be used over and over in elimination mode, unlike your bots. So during the week, like I said, or sorry, through the weekends, Captain Obvious, just play the event. Elimination mode gives good XP, but it's not going to be, over the course of a weekend, it's not going to be better than the event itself. So for elimination mode, there's a few things to consider. So personally, the way I like to level is I'd take any bot with a rushing ability. So any rushing warrior, Elita, Rhinox, Optimus Prime, any of those kind of abilities where you can move the bot around, I would rush them to the HQ, drop a combiner, clear the base, and then they'd solo it. So combiners, when they destroy buildings, nothing's changed. This is already how it works. You don't get the energy that you get from destroying those buildings. So you can't do that with Megatronus, because if you rush a bot to the HQ, drop a combiner, clear the base, there's not going to be any energy for Megatronus to drop. So you're going to need 3 bots, really. You're going to need 2 actual bots. I'll show it a high level. This. And then I'll show at a lower level in a second. So during the week when there's no event, elimination mode gives about 10 times the XP. So in some cases where, let's say, I don't need Slug, I could just drop someone like Skids. And something I just forgot to mention, in the lower the zone and the less buildings there are in the base, the less points you need to collect to drop them. So against a maxed base, you need 21 points. In zone 15, you need 15 points. So it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to use the first bot, just going to get points so I can drop them. And now that we've got those, we can rush any rushing bot to the HQ. To be honest, you can probably survive that, but let's say it's a lower level and we need to drop a combiner. We're just gonna clear the base, yada yada. I think this part isn't crazy. Alright, just gonna wait for him to die. And then remember, you need to deploy him. And there we go. Super easy. He did like no work. You don't need him to be a higher level. And that's a playtest thing that's going to be fixed. But you can use him multiple times. So again, just ignore that crash. That doesn't mean anything. It's just a playtest bug. They're going to fix it. They know about it. Actually, it might already be fixed. I think they mentioned a build where... Anyways, just forget about that. That's not a live feature thing. And again, so mayhem or normal events for the weekend, that's the best way. You don't need to overthink it. But zone 15 for PvP throughout the rest of the week when you have nothing else to work on, if you're at a higher level, you see for XP it's 180%. And then if we go to elimination mode, we'll bring like some 3 stars. We're gonna go to a pretty low zone. Let's go to pipes and let's go with Sun Trigger. So even if we need to go down to like zone 11, whatever, I'm bringing a gunner. I think gunners would be good at clearing buildings, but like whatever, any like a special bot could probably do it too. Any bot that can clear like 10 to 15 buildings. And then, so you can see, look at the XP. Let's see, zone 11. This should be super easy. And then it's still like, do the math. 1100 divided by 180. So still over 6 times the amount of XP you would get from doing PvP throughout the week, even if you drop all the way down. And if you're at a higher level, you should have quite a few bots who can just work in zone 15 or even 14 or 13, whatever level you're at. So pretty low base. We're just going to use Sunstreaker, clear out some buildings. So you need 13 points in this zone. Just again, you don't need points to deploy them. You just need to get the points. There we go. And then I think they can handle this on their own, but if you wanted to, you can use Combiner if needed. Get them down, and there we go. So again, the good news about elimination mode is it gives way more XP than normal PvP battles for resources. Even if you just drop 3, 4, 5 zones, it's still more XP. And if you have nothing else to work on from like Monday to Thursday, why not? And then the only bad news there is that obviously, so Megatronus you can use over and over, but not your bots. So eventually, you're gonna run out of bots who can handle that kind of thing. Maybe it's a good excuse to start working on your lower level bots. But yeah. So during the weekends, don't overthink it. Just play the events. If you can solo Zone 15 with a bot, and then throw in Megatronus, that would be the best in Mayhem. If not, just a normal event battle, that would be the best because you can use one strong bot over and over, like once an hour kind of thing. And then from Monday to Thursday, when you have nothing else to work on, and instead of doing PvP, do elimination mode. That's how you get the most XP. Okay, so I think that's everything we know so far. So we went over when to expect them, what to expect on release day, what does the Prime Core, the Prime Lab, it look like, everything in there, everything what it means, we know how to use them, how to level them, the best ways to level them. So all that's left is, do I think they're worth chasing? So the key word of what we went over so far is pretty much everything is a fact. It's still in testing, so there's a small chance some small changes can be made, but it's unlikely at this point. And but to answer the question if I think they're worth chasing, there's still a lot of questions we don't know. I'd like to know what the highest level of them looks like. What does a rank 10, level 70, max Requiem Blaster, what does that look like? And how strong are they? How much will that cost? How much time will it take to get to that point? And unfortunately, we just don't have the answers yet. They're being very hush-hush about it. We know that Universal Spark will start circulating regularly in events. They haven't told us about how often or how much, but I would assume it's something similar to Combat or Combiner Spark. How we get that like every few weeks, and maybe once in like an 8-week saga, we might get a big event for it. But again, that's just guessing. We don't know anything about that yet. They're coming in bundles. We don't know how often those will be, how much they'll cost, how much we'll get, yada yada. But the only small glimpse we've got so far, and I'm not going to go too far into it because it's a concept of an event that hasn't happened. If you want to see exactly what I'm talking about, I know Freesius went over it in his most recent live stream. He covered it pretty well. So if you're curious what the planned event was for this weekend that got pushed back, go check that out. And as he mentions in his stream, the council had a pretty good chat with them. I believe they were listening, and they're gonna come back with something better. But I won't, with a clear conscience, I can't tell you that something is worth chasing that I wouldn't chase myself. You can see in the top left my player loyalty. I've spent more money and time on this game than I'm care to admit. Obviously make up your own decision. If everything I've listed so far sounds so amazing, you're willing to spend a lot of money on it, feel free. Teach their own. But personally, from what we've seen, it's basically 5-star Titan pricing, and we get enough Megatronus Spark to get him to rank 5, which is. I can't see the numbers because they haven't released them yet. That's not public information. But without factoring in how much combiner spark we get in the economy, just numbers wise, imagine how much spark you need to get a combiner to like level 10, and that might be too generous to be honest. And then how much more you need to get him to level 25 to max him out. So again, think of how much it would cost you to complete this event, and how much more you need to spend later, because you're not even maxing him out. You're not even getting close. You get the nice fancy perk of the taunt shield, so there's a separate shield and a taunt. But for me personally, in my head of how much I expected this to cost, and then how much it's looking like it will, we're so far apart. I'm not even thinking about chasing them. I'm gonna go the free to play route with these unless something changes. Just we are so far apart, and we can talk about this maybe later once they reveal the event and we can like actually get, because again, as a concept, it hasn't happened yet. That just kind of gave an insight of what they're thinking, and again, I'm not even on the same like planet. Like we're so far apart. Um, yeah, so I won't beat the dead horse, but yeah, personally, I won't be chasing it. I'm going free to play unless something drastic changes. Um, and so I'll just be hoarding a Universal Prime Spark until either all the primes come out and I can choose one, but that'll be like 3 to 4 years, or one comes out that impresses me so much I think it's worth it. Um, they have mentioned that there's going to be a incentive to chase multiple primes, beyond the fact you're just having multiple options. Because for the Titans, it's like that's also part of that's another issue. For the Titans, you pick one, and 125 is ridiculous, but you pick one, you don't need to get the other ones, and then you're good to go. For the primes, it sounds like you're going to want to get all 13 and get them all leveled up. They haven't told us how much that'll impact the power or how strong they are, so again, that's another question we don't have answered. But yeah. So long story short, it's a little discouraging, and I won't be chasing them with money. I'll just be doing the free to play route. I'll be grinding as much as I can, because again, I am excited for them. It's something new to work on. We've been missing that for quite a while. Yeah. So I think that's all I've got to say for now. If you're still here, thanks for watching. If you learned something, which I hope we did, we went over a lot of information. Please leave a like. If you keep coming back, a sub would be appreciated. And I'll see you next time.